that, man.
No, that's a bad idea.
All right, so
She's cute.
we're gonna go through the script of My Cousin Vinny. This is one of my favorite films. Some little fun trivia facts for those who maybe don't know. Shortly after this movie was released, Joe Pesci released an album of jazz standards called Vincent LaGuardia Gambino Sings. And he does licks, jazz licks as Vincent LaGuardia Gambini, as played by Joe Pesci. It's quite incredible. Listen to it. It's not the best, but it's just like, wow, this is the thing that somebody put money into. So yeah, it's great. I love this movie. I grew up watching it. I could probably do most of these bits without having to look at the script. I love it, and I've always said that this deserved to be on stage. So in lieu of that, let's just have some people that I love dearly get together on my day of birth and have some drinks and read through. Woo-woo!
Hey, I need a drink.
Awesome.
Get a drink.
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna do that too.
Are you
I'm
drinking
also-
out of the box?
Did you all not get the box? Out of the box.
Wait, you don't even have a glass that you're pouring into. You're just straight up grabbing the bag. Oh, there it is. I thought you were literally just like, as you.
Oh no! Put a straw in that thing.
Capri Sun, they give one of those metal straws.
Just like
I didn't realize you moved to Utica, Mississippi. Like that's what they do down
Now that
there.
you're in LA, no more.
Tony, I so want to see someone treat a box of wine like a Capri Sun and just like pump.
Okay, quickly before we start, I'll give time for everybody to get their stuff home. But let's do the cheers now that everyone's got a drink. Everybody, cheers! Yay!
Hey!
hey, must be the money.
Ooh.
All right. We'll just quickly go around the horn and everybody just introduce yourself and what character or characters you are playing. I'll go first. I'm Tony. I'm the birthday boy, and I'll be doing the titular Cousin Vinny.
I'm Ross. I'll be doing my favorite role, which is stage directions.
Anybody else, doesn't matter.
Okay. Nope. Do yours.
No, I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Judge Haller.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm Justin. I'm playing voice. I'm playing clerk. I'm playing driver. I'm playing cashier. I'm playing star. Somehow I'm playing other voice. I'm also playing neck brace, Tipton, and juror.
I'm excited. I need distinct voices for each one.
Oh, absolutely.
My name is Sarah. I'm doing all the bit roles he's not doing.
Oh man, I'm other Justin now, I guess. I don't fuck. Oh God, sorry. But there are children watching.
We haven't started yet. Come on.
There's gonna be more fucks in this script. Like.
Yeah, but that one's on me. All right, I'm not reading anything. That one's just coming from the old noggin.
Yeah, he fucked himself.
And and I'm gonna be playing Bill Gambini.
All right.
I'm Rob. I'm gonna read Trotter.
Yeah.
I'm Tyler Riley. I'll be Stan Rothenstein.
I'm David, and I'm going to be playing a bunch of roles that I hope that I highlighted everything correctly, because I don't remember the names of I'm playing the Austin Pendleton character and others. That's.
I can't wait for your Gibbons.
Oh, me neither.
Oh boy!
I'm Irene, and I'm playing Lisa.
Mona Lisa Vito.
Marissa Tomei.
All right.
Hi guys, I'm Yannick, and I'm playing Sheriff Farley.
Yes.
I believe that's everybody. Yeah, we're just gonna start from the tippy and let's just go through this page 2 of 141.
External, Alabama back road. It's a sunny winter day on a paved country in southwestern Alabama. In the distance, parking over a loping hill, we see a faded, palette green 1964 Buick Skylark with white trim at the top and New York flag. As it approaches, we see two young men in the car, both with dark hair and sunglasses. They look cool. Close shot, radio. A hand turns the dial and searches something contemporary, finding nothing but country music.
If you can't live without me, then why aren't you dead?
And local ad, events, farm reports, evangelists, gospel singers, and a woman with marital problems. Seeks guidance from a radio preacher. On the road, the 2-lane paved country road passes through huge fields of cotton plants, little shrubs with little fluffy tufts of white. On the side of the road, every 100 yards or so, we see 8 by 8 by 20 trussed up, squared off bales of cotton covered with plastic tarps, waiting to be picked up and trucked off. Up ahead, they approach a long bed truck filled with logs on the way to a sawmill. This is also lumber country. They overtake the truck. They also pass a lot of things you see in the deep south that you don't see up north. Little ramshackle fruit stands with weather-beaten signs saying, "We accept food stamps," crude hand-lettered signs offering Vidalia onions, pecans, propane, bulls for sale, a cattle crossing sign, a black silhouette of a cow on a round yellow background with a black border, grain silos, big and small. Interior, car back seat, a Rolling Stone magazine, a People magazine, and a variety of textbooks. The Rhetoric of No, Introduction to Physics, Introduction to Political Science, and a Welcome to UCLA pamphlet. These are college kids. Also in the back seat is an old, broken ghetto blaster with a tape coming out of it. Some empty soda cans, junk food wrappers, empty sterno cans, an empty cooler, a map to the south, and a line drawn for the route. A variety of socks, sweaters, etc., etc. Continued front seat. Driving the car is Bill Gambino. 21.
Oh yeah, by the way, sorry. The script has everybody listed as Gambino. Try to remember to say Gambini. I guess
Such
they
a
changed.
Childish thing to do.
They changed that the last. we're just gonna mute Rob real quick.
Driving the car is Bill Gambini, 21, Italian-American descent from New York, optimistic and carefree. The passenger is Stan Rothstein, also 21, Jewish, pessimistic, analytical, and precise. You know. They're bright college kids in need of a shower and a shave.
Driving both sides of my brain.
External off the road, woods. Stan and Bill, night. Camped out. Bill's heating up a can of beans and franks over a can of sterno. Later that night, tucked into sleeping bags. We hear bugs in the air. Stan slaps at the bugs. Bill is fast asleep. Title's end. Exit, Sack of Suds convenience store. Morning. Like a 7-Eleven. Stan and Bill drive up, park, and enter. Interior, Sack of Suds. Camera pans over beans. Camera pulls back to reveal Bill and Stan in the canned vegetable section, looking over the beans. They're holding cans of beans, sterno, tortillas, anything cheap, all cradled in one arm, using their free hands to pick things off the shelves.
There's some for 37 cents.
Here's some for 32.
31.
They look more.
I think that's it.
Don't they have generics?
I think this is their generic. Oh, that's me. Wait, what? Never mind, sorry.
Oh, wait, that's me.
No, I think, oddly, you're right. I think the script is wrong, but I think this is their generic.
All right. I've never heard of this brand. Maybe we should get this one. Maybe it's worth the penny.
Nah, you're paying for advertising.
They walk down the aisle, balancing the precarious load of cans.
Tuna. Should we get tuna?
Oh God, please, like no more tuna.
It's got protein. We need protein.
Beans have protein.
Beans make you fart.
We got a convertible.
I'm getting it for myself.
He reaches for it, almost dropping what he has, and there's little room for more. So he puts the can in his jacket pocket. Microwave. Stan is heating up a burrito. The counterman / cashier is a wiry, unfriendly guy. He serves Bill a slush drink, about 2/3 full, then adds up the grocery tab.
And one burrito and one large slush. 21.67.
Yeah, hey, can you fill this up?
Cashier looks at the drink. He sighs, then fills it back up and gives it back to Bill without comment. The cashier then puts the groceries into a brown paper bag as Stan and Bill dig in their pockets. External suds. Stan and Bill exit, get in their car, and leave. Bill drives. Nearby are row houses, small box-like houses with severely peeling paint on dusty gray, old bare wood. Meager-looking porches, windows covered with rusty screens and sagging, rusty metal roofs. Interior Buick. Bill and Stan, 20 minutes later. Driving along, Bill remembers about the tuna in his pocket. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out the can of tuna. He motions for Stan to look.
Look, I forgot to pay for it.
You think you could have gotten caught? What if somebody saw?
Bill shakes his head at the thought. It was a dumb thing.
The laws are medieval down here. You know what the minimum age for execution in Alabama?
16?
10.
Bill can't believe it. He glances in the mirror. Rear view mirror. There's a cop behind him.
A cop?
There's a cop behind us.
Oh, sorry, a cop?
It's crazy, Stan. There's a cop behind us. There's nothing to worry
Another
about. Stan, there's like 15 cops now. There's nothing to worry about.
There might be.
There's nothing to worry about. It's like a whole fleet of cops.
Now there is.
Well, what are they doing now?
Well, nothing.
Nothing? Still following us, isn't he?
He's not following us. He's just behind us.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Calm down. There's a cop behind us. That's all. Nothing's wrong. There's no problem. Uh-oh.
What? What? Uh-oh. What?
His light's on.
Stan is crushed. He slams the dashboard with his fist.
Fuck. Fuck, god damn it. God damn it, what are we gonna do?
It's probably nothing. A taillight or something. Don't worry.
We don't have money for bail.
We don't need money for bail. Nothing's happening.
Nothing? You're getting pulled over, aren't you? You stole something, didn't you? We're fucked.
Mirror. The sheriff's car door opens. Stan looks at Bill for comment.
Here he comes.
The deputy hides behind the door.
Somebody's deputy. I don't know who. Is nobody deputy?
I
Oh,
don't think.
Dave.
Oh,
Was that me?
Dave's it.
Sorry. See, I told you I wasn't going to have highlighted everything. Show me your hands!
Stan and Bill exchange dumbfounded looks. They put their hands out. The deputy rests his pistol on the door.
Get out of the car and put your hands on your head.
Interior lineup.
Oh.
Bill and Stan and others. Stan and Bill are led to a makeshift lineup room where they stand along a group of men, none looking remotely like Bill or Stan. Bright, blinding lights. They have to squint.
Ridiculous. All this over a can of tuna?
Keep quiet.
Jack Sud's day. Sheriff Farley, a man aged around 50, is watching the dead body of the cashier being photographed. A deputy enters and whispers to Farley.
I think we may get a confession.
Farley leaves the shop. He passes a woman who's very upset.
I just heard that someone shot Jimmy Willis.
He's dead.
Oh my God, who would do such a thing?
Well, a couple of boys from New York, I believe. They were just picked up out of the lineup.
Interior holding room. Bill. Bill is alone in a small windowless room. Farley enters, holding a clipboard. Bill is filled with deep remorse. Deep remorse. The sign says no guns allowed in the cells.
Hello, Bill. I'm Sheriff Farley.
Hi.
You know why you're here?
Yeah, I know.
With deep remorse.
It was a stupid thing to do.
Have you been made aware of your rights? You're willing to waive that, right?
Yeah. I'm willing to cooperate fully I'll sign a statement or whatever makes this whole thing easier.
This remake of Dead Man Walking is fantastic.
Good. Good. Good.
But I want you to know that Stan had nothing to do with it.
Was he there when you did it?
Well, yeah. But I didn't know what was going on.
Did he help you plan it?
No, I mean, it wasn't really planned out. It just happened.
Did Stan try to stop you at any time?
No.
The sheriff scribbles something on a pad.
Why? Is that a big deal?
Oh, shit.
Aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting? Is that like a major thing?
Yeah.
What could they do to him?
Well, it depends. If he really didn't know what was going on, but he didn't turn you in, it could be 10, 20 years.
Bill's floored. Interior corridor. Farley leaves Bill's room, enters Stan's. Door slams shut. Stan's room. Close on Stan.
An accessory? Are you guys kidding? An accessory? I didn't help. I didn't plan it.
But you didn't try to stop it.
I didn't know what was happening. I found out later in the car.
Why didn't you get out? Call the police then.
He's my friend.
Your friend has put you in a lot of trouble.
What's going to happen to Bill?
Nothing. Unless he's convicted. Of course, if he is, we're going to run enough electricity through him to light up Birmingham.
Stan scoffs. Door slams and echoes. Bill's room. Farley's back, but this time with the deputy number 4 and cassette recorder.
We were both friends at NYU and we both applied and got scholarships to UCLA, so we figured the weather and the scenery would be nicer going through the South.
Close shot. The cassette turning. Later.
Well, then I forgot about the can of tuna fish, and then we left.
You left. What do you mean? Did he catch you with the tuna fish? Is that how it started?
No, he didn't say anything.
But he knew about it.
I don't know.
Let's talk about that for a moment. You paid for the groceries, and then what?
We went out to the car, that's it.
But when did you shoot him?
What?
At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk?
Yes, when did you shoot him?
I shot the clerk.
Farley nods. Bill is thoroughly dumbfounded. Another deputy comes in.
Hey, Dean, we need you out here.
I'm in the middle of a damn confession!
Frustrated, Farley sighs and exits, taking the deputy.
Wait a second.
But they're gone. Ooh. Interior corridor day. Bill's handcuffed sitting on a bench when Stan, who is handcuffed too, is let in. Bill's scared.
What's the matter?
Do you know what this is all about?
Yeah. They're fucking with us.
You don't believe them?
No way. They don't execute for shoplifting.
You think we're being booked for shoplifting?
You're being booked for shoplifting. I'm being booked for accessory to shoplifting.
No. I'm being booked for murder. You're being booked for accessory to murder.
Time to make your phone calls.
He leaves. Dazed, they follow.
Is there any way you can contact your parents?
How? Call the Chilean consulate? What are they going to do? Send a guide into the mountains to look for him? We got to call an attorney. A great attorney. Do you know any great attorneys?
No. I'm calling my mother.
Bill picks up the phone and dials.
Boop bop bop. Hello, Ma? Yeah, this is Bill. we're in Wazoo. Listen, Beecham County, Alabama. Not too good. Well, we've been arrested. Ma, please. Ma, you're sounding like a Muppet again. Ma, take your meds. First of all, we didn't do it. Well, the murder. Ma, please. Ma. It's a fuck up. Excuse me, Ma. It's a mistake. We must look like the guys who did it.
Tell her what we think.
Okay. We think they're setting us up as patsies. You know how corrupt it is down here? They all know each other.
The clan's here. They're inbred. They all sleep with their sisters. Some of them do.
We gotta get an attorney. It's gonna cost a lot of money.
A decent one? $50,000, $100,000?
50, maybe 100,000. I know! Can we use any attorney?
I think so.
Oh, he is? Well, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. You think he'll do it? Hey, we got an attorney in the family.
Who?
My cousin, Vinny.
You said the thing.
Said it.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba.
External. Back to courthouse day. Stan and Bill are escorted into prison van. Crane down from high angle to two shot of Stan and Bill as the van door slams shut. Interior van. Stan and Bill, day. Driver.
Our jail has been condemned. That's why we're bringing you all out to the state correctional facilities.
External. Prison, day. A few dozen one-story bleak-looking bungalows. A couple administration buildings surrounded by barbed wire fence. Just outside the fence, a dozen ACLU members demonstrate against the death penalty. Placards mention a guy named Norton. Only God can condemn Norton. If Norton dies, so does humanity, etc. Norton's going to be executed in a few days.
Ed Norton.
Yeah.
Exterior prison, day.
Oh, no, the driver.
Oh, sorry. Interior van, Stan and Bill, day.
This is the same line that I said earlier, except I'm saying it again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Never mind. I'll edit this in post.
Right,
I'll cut that in post.
Exterior prison, day. The van stops in front of the administration building. Interior cell block of prison, late afternoon. As Stan and Bill are led to a cell, the other inmates, big, vicious-looking men, spark up when they see the slightly built, clean-cut-looking young men. They hoot, cheer, and whistle. Stan and Bill's cell. A tiny room with a toilet, a chair, a sink, and a double bunk bed. Bill and Stan enter. The door is shut behind them. Bill sits. Stan paces, terrified. He sees a folded cot against the wall.
You know what happens in these places?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a big guy no one wants to tangle with who will protect you. But you have to become his sex slave and do anything he wants.
There's only the two of us here.
But what if they put somebody else in here?
Bill looks at Stan.
Stan, shut up!
Interior conference room of prison, day. Bill's on the phone. He looks elated. He hangs up and grins at a guard. Interior cell. Stan is nearly catatonic with fear. Bill is led to the cell and is strikingly optimistic by contrast.
All right, Vinny's leaving within the hour. He's driving all night. He should be here tomorrow. He says, don't worry, your problems are over.
Stan pumps Bill for positive sounding information.
Great. So what's the story? He's some kind of a hotshot attorney?
Oh, wait till you meet him.
Exterior Wazoo City Square. It's a typical small town Alabama courtyard. A colonial-style courthouse in the middle, surrounded by grass.
Oh boy,
Oh.
you can trim all that up however you want to do.
The South.
You pick and choose.
The South.
South period.
We hear in the distance the
The
bass of a
sound.
high-powered car stereo. Thumpa, thumpa, thumpa. And a weak woman in a floral print dress stops and turns toward the sound. It is unusual indeed. She watches unapprovingly as she sees a perfectly restored but muddied around the wheels 1961 Cadillac Coupe de Ville convertible. As the car approaches, we can identify the music, hip-hop. It's Tone Long's Funky Cold Medina, and you know it is.
Yes, it is.
The car parks in front of the courthouse and stops. Absolute silence. The driver's door opens and out steps Vincent LaGuardia Gambini, right? That's right. A tough New York Italian-American.
Hey.
He's been driving for 20 hours straight, and he looks it. Unshaven, wrinkled clothes and bloodshot eyes. He looks unquestionably tough. You'd want him on your side in a gang fight. Wearing Ray-Bans and a weathered black leather blazer. Carries a deck of cards in his shirt pocket.
Oh boy.
As always. Getting down on his knees, he checks out the front end of the car for something is wrong. The passenger door opens, and Lisa, Vinny's girlfriend, gets out and stretches. Lisa's pretty, with perfectly coiffed jet black hair. She's more appropriately dressed for a New York club in the Deep South, which in these parts looks downright trampy. Oh, wow. She's got a small instant everything camera, and she takes pictures of anything that looks interesting.
Boy, do you stick out.
Me? What about you?
Fit in more than you.
She walks around the car into view, wearing very short black skirt, black tights and shoes. She's got long legs.
I'm wearing cowboy boots.
Oh yeah, you blend.
As Vinny looks around the car, Lisa glances around at the neighborhood, taking pictures.
I bet the Chinese food here is terrible.
Oh yeah, you're going to blend perfectly.
Getting up, indicating car's front suspension.
Nothing out of whack as far as I can see.
It feels like the wheels went out of balance right after we hit that mud.
A black man with a gold star embedded into his tooth is walking past. He stops and watches as Vinny looks over the wheels.
Nah, I don't think that's it.
I think you should put it on a rack and take a look.
What's wrong?
Car shutters on a highway. I didn't hit any bumps, but you know.
You got mud in your tires.
I got mud in my tires. How can I get mud into the tires?
Well, it's a figure of speech. It gets in around the inside of the wheel and it throws the balance off.
You ever heard of that? Mud in the tires?
No.
And she knows everything about cars.
Star laughs at the joke. Vinny's amused at Star's amusement. Lisa says nothing.
Down here, everybody gets stuck in the mud now and then. We're famous for our mud.
Famous for your mud? How's your Chinese food?
Interior cell. Stan and Bill, day. Bill's asleep, Stan is pacing. We hear a brutal fight being broken up someplace. And it's really brutal. We hear the sound of flesh smacking against cement, clothes ripping. Oh my God, Stan freezes in horror.
Get ready for a choice, friends.
You motherfucker! I'm gonna split you in two! Stop your fucking crying or I'll tear your fucking head off your fucking shoulders!
Oh God, no! Stop! Help! Help! Somebody help!
Beautiful. Oh my God. Wow. Then we hear silence.
Oh God.
As his voice is mysteriously muffled. Stan turns away in horror, his face against the back wall of the cell. We hear footsteps approaching. The guard opens the cell, lets Vinny in. Vinny slips the guard a little tip, a little something, something. The guard closes the cell door. Stan doesn't know that Vinny is Vinny. He suspects the worst.
Here, I got someone for you.
Oh, you must be Stan. How you doing?
Why'd they bring you in here?
I just got in. I asked him where they put the new guys were, and they brought me here. Oh, he's sleeping. Not cute little guy.
Despite his raunchy appearance, Vinny's friendly, which Stan misconstrues to be a cat playing with a mouse. He avoids meeting Vinny's eyes.
I don't want to do this.
He sits. Vinny steps behind him and starts massaging his shoulders.
Hey, I don't blame you. If I was in your situation, I want to get through this whole thing as quickly and with as little pain as possible. So let's try our best to make this thing a simple in and out procedure.
Dan says nothing. What can he say? Vinny comes over and puts his hand on Stan's shoulder, massaging it, being comforting. Stan's worst fears are confirmed.
Maybe we should spend a couple of minutes, get acquainted before we, get to it.
Stan squirms away from Vinny, keeping his back against the wall.
What's the matter?
I don't want to do this.
I understand, but what are your alternatives?
My alternatives? To what? To you? I don't know. Suicide? Death?
No. It's either me or them. You're getting fucked one way or the other. Hey. Don't worry. I'm going to help you.
Gee whiz. Thanks.
Oh, excuse me. I think a modicum of gratitude is not out of line.
You think I should be grateful?
Sure, I mean, it's your ass, not mine. I think you should be grateful. I think you should be down on your fucking knees.
I didn't know what an honor it was to get a visit from you.
Yeah, you're getting me for free, pal. I'm doing you a favor, you little shit.
Boy, that's one hell of an ego you've got.
What the fuck's your problem? I didn't come down here just to get jerked off.
I'm not jerking you off. I'm not doing anything.
You know, you're on your own, pal. I'm just going to take care of this guy. Hey, Sim Beauty, wake up.
Vinny sits on the bed next to Bill. Stan grabs Vinny and balls a fist. Okay. Bill stirs, wakes, sees Vinny, smiles warmly.
Hey, Vinny bag of donuts.
Vinny and Bill embrace warmly. You know.
Oh, then this is Vinny.
Bill's waxing enthusiastic. Stan is hoping against hope.
I told Stan so much about you. He couldn't wait to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has lots of questions to ask you. Go on, Stan.
Well, I don't know where to start. Have you had any murder cases before?
No. Be my first.
Your first? What about, what have your other cases been? Assault and battery, armed robbery?
No, none of those.
I expect he's done burglary, grand theft auto, drugs.
Nope, nothing like that. Nope.
Vinny, you are a criminal attorney, aren't you?
Actually, this would be my first foray into the criminal arena.
First time. What kind of law do you practice?
Up until now, personal injury. It just keeps getting worse here, doesn't it? You got any more questions?
But you are a trial attorney. Like personal injury trials?
No, actually, this will be my first foray into the trial process. I haven't gotten to go to court yet, knock on wood.
It does get worse. You haven't been to court yet. How long have you been practicing?
6 weeks. 6 weeks. Yeah, almost 6 weeks.
Stan looks at Bill with a hopeless, what is this expression.
But you graduated from law school 6 years ago. What have you been doing since?
Studying for the bar.
6 years? That's a lot of studying.
No kidding. To be honest with you, I didn't really pass the first time out.
Did you pass the second time?
No, I'm afraid not.
3 times the charm?
Not for me, it isn't. You see, for me, it's more like 6 times the charm. I'm a little dyslexic.
6 times. It just gets worse and worse.
No, that's it. It's about as bad as it gets. It don't get much more worse than this.
Interior courtroom day.
Oh, fuck.
Our boy Vinny walks through the empty courtroom. Interior Judge Chambers, Judge and Vinny, late afternoon. The most noticeable thing about the judge's chambers is the vast expanse of books lining the walls. Vinny's seated in front of Judge Chamberlain Haller. Vinny is wearing a shirt and pants, no jacket or tie.
A little informal, are we? Not wearing a coat and tie.
Oh, sorry.
Well, approving an attorney from out of state is a pretty informal matter. I just have a few questions.
Fire away, Judge.
When did you go to law school?
Brooklyn Academy of Law.
Vinny looks up and sees the judge's law diploma from Yale, summa cum laude.
Brooklyn Academy of Law. Is that an accredited law school?
The judge's subtly elitist response makes Vinny instantly feel he has somehow flunked the first question.
Yes.
How long have you been practicing?
Oh, I'd say about 16 years, yeah.
Any murder cases?
Oh, quite a few, yes.
And what was the outcome?
Well, you know, you win some, you lose some, you know.
This is not the forum to be cavalier.
No, of course not. Let me see. Most recently, I had an axe murderer, which I won on the grounds of temporary insanity. Would you like to hear the facts of the case?
No. What else?
I had a cop killer. Lost that one.
Good.
Have you heard of the son of Sam?
The fellow who received orders to kill from a dog?
That's right.
Dog.
You defended him?
I defended the first guy that they arrested, who was, you know, found innocent. Then they, you know, caught the real guy.
Vinny's trying to impress the judge. Has a deleterious effect. The judge has a fear of appearing backwards.
Well, we don't have any serial killers in Beecham County, but what we do have is every bit as sophisticated a system of justice as they do in the rest of the country. You being from New York and all might have the impression that law is practiced with a degree of informality down here. It isn't. I tell you this because I want you to know when it comes to procedure, I am not a patient man. I advise you, sir, when you come into my courtroom, you are to know the letter of the law. I will react harshly when I find that you don't. Don't think being from New York that you're going to get special treatment. You won't. You will be given no leeway whatsoever.
He takes an official-looking 700-page book titled Alabama Rules of Criminal Procedure off a shelf and puts it on the desk in front of Vinny.
I expect you to know this information when you enter my courtroom. Are you willing to accept those terms?
No problem. That's it.
Interior cell, Stan and Bill Day. Stan's upset and Bill's optimistic.
The Brooklyn Academy of Law is a correspondence school. It's not even an accredited school.
So, he passed, didn't he?
Eventually. Bill, he's not a criminal attorney. He's not even a trial attorney. He's a personal injury attorney. We can't go into a murder trial represented by a personal injury attorney.
He's never lost a case.
It's impossible to lose a case because it costs more to the insurance company to fight than settle. That's not like winning. That's more like legal extortion.
So what do you want to do?
I don't know. What are our options?
They think. For the moment, they have no options. Exterior hotel, after sunset. It's after sunset. Vinny's car stops at the hotel. Vinny and Lisa get out and look at it. Interior hotel room, night. It's small and barely furnished. Lisa's on the bed, wearing a robe, looking over the room. Vinny comes out of the bathroom. He's holding the book on court procedure. He sits on the bed.
You're on mute.
Oh, shoot.
Mona Lisa, you're on mute.
Oh,
There you
sorry. This is going to be great. Vinny's first case. So what can I do to help? What can I do to help?
Vinny shakes his head. Can't think of anything. Starts reading. Lisa's frustrated.
Nothing?
No.
Vinny keeps reading. Lisa looks around, wondering what to do. She feels anxious. Vinny picks up on it. He pulls out the pack of cards from his shirt pocket and gives it to Lisa. She looks at him, and she doesn't get it.
What?
It's something to do. Go play solitaire or something.
Not exactly what she had in mind. Vinny turns back to the book. It's difficult for him to read. She takes a picture of him. Vinny's POV, close shot, print in book. Some of the letters are reversed. Vinny wasn't kidding when he said he was a little dyslexic. Exterior hotel, early in the morning.
Glad they buried that plot line.
It's the director's cut. It's quiet and peaceful, just what you'd expect early in the morning in a small town. We hear the shrieking blast of a steam whistle from the nearby mill. It's such a powerful blast of sound, the hotel window vibrates slightly. Interior Vinny's hotel room, morning. Vinny jumps out of bed. Lisa covers her ears.
What the fuck is that?
Vinny goes to the window, opens it. Lisa, the Beach and Saw Mill Company, all lit up. It's even louder. Vinny yells, but we can't hear him. Finally, it stops. Lisa's hand comes down off her ears.
What the hell was that?
Came from that big industrial-looking building. I think it's
Bow! The whistle blows again. Close shot, steam whistle. It's an old brass whistle about 2 feet tall and half a foot thick. An enormous blast of steam blasts from its mouth, sending a gray plume into the air until it stops. Vinny closes the window. Interior Wazoo Diner. Vinny and Lisa, early morning. The place is empty. Vinny and Lisa come in and sit down. Junius, a heavy-set gray and black man in a too small stay-pressed shirt, is at the griddle behind the counter.
What's the story with that incredibly loud whistle at 5:30 this morning?
It's a whistle.
I know it's a whistle. I just said, what's the story with that incredibly loud whistle at 5:30 in the morning?
Steam whistle. At the sawmill. Tell people it's time to get up. You can hear it for miles. Y'all want something?
Yeah.
Lisa picks up a menu and they stare at it. It is all white with black text and all capital letters. There's only 3 menu items. Breakfast, lunch, and, dinner.
I don't know. Breakfast?
You think? 2.
Junior spoons a fist-sized slug of lard onto the griddle. It's a big old fist-sized slug of lard, and Vinny exchanges disgruntled looks with him.
Excuse me, are you guys familiar with the cholesterol problem going on in this country?
Junior stares at him. He doesn't get it either. Minutes later, Junior serves them breakfast.
At least 20.
At least 20. Eggs, bacon, and grits. Vinny looks at the breakfast. Vinny points to some kind of greasy-looking grain on the plate.
What's this?
You never heard of grits?
Oh, sure. I heard of grits. I just ain't never actually seen a grit before, or had it served on my plate, or had eaten one before.
Vinny notices Lisa's watching him, but she's not eating.
You gonna try it?
You first.
Lisa takes out her camera, poised to document Vinny's first taste of grits. Vinny stares at grits, looks at Junior.
So what is a grit, anyways?
Comes from corn. Hominy grits.
Omni. How do you cook a grit?
Simmer it in salted water for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you put it on a plate with a little butter.
Vinny tries a small portion of it. Lisa snaps a picture. Vinny shows no expression of like or dislike. He swallows. He thinks.
Well, I've tried grits.
Interior courtroom day. Oh my goodness. Vinny and Lisa come in, approach the gate, and stop. Vinny's wearing his black leather blazer. He looks to the bailiff, who waves him in, points to the table on the right. Vinny goes in and sits. Jim Trotter, the DA, a formidable-looking man with salt and pepper hair, comes in. Something about him is supremely confident. He looks at Vinny. He has a strong Alabama accent.
Your attorney here?
I am the attorney.
Jim Trotter III, District Attorney, Beecham County.
Vincent LaGuardia Gambini, Brooklyn.
The lady bailiff leads Stan and Bill in and sits them down with Vinny. Bill whispers to Vinny.
When's my mom coming down here?
Not for a while.
Why not?
I didn't want to tell you. She's in the hospital. Right after she spoke to you, she spoke to me, and right after she spoke to me, she had a heart attack.
Not surprised.
She's gonna be fine. In a couple of weeks, she'll be out.
Will we?
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, all rise.
Judge enters, and everyone rises. The judge sits.
Be seated. First case, people of the state of Alabama versus William Robert Gambini and Stanley Marcus Rothstein.
Vinny is seated.
Counselor, your clients are charged with first-degree murder. How do they plead?
Your Honor,
Don't talk to me sitting in that chair.
He told me to sit here. I mean,
When you are addressing this court, you will rise and speak to me in a clear and intelligible voice.
no, sorry. My clients.
The judge squints at Vinny's clothes. Vinny self-consciously checks his fly, but it's close. He knows that. The judge interrupts again.
What are you wearing?
I'm wearing clothes. I don't get the question.
When you come into my court looking like you do, you not only insult me, but you insult the integrity of this court.
I apologize, sir, but this is how I dress.
Next time you come into my courtroom, you will look loyally. And I mean, you'll comb your hair and wear a suit and tie, and that suit better be made of some kind of cloth. Do you understand me?
Vinny's taken aback by all this.
Fine, that's just fine, sir.
Good. You may continue. How do your clients plead?
Judge gestures for Vinny to continue.
My clients are caught completely by surprise. They thought they would be arrested for shoplifting a can of tuna.
What you're telling me, they plead not guilty?
I'm just trying to explain.
I don't want to hear your explanations. The state of Alabama has its procedure. And that procedure at this point in time is to have an arraignment. Are we clear on this?
Stan doesn't like what's going on. He really doesn't. He looks at Bill, who is confused.
Yes, but there seems to be a great deal of confusion on what's going on here, because you see, my clients...
Mr. Gambini, all I ask from you is a very simple question. There are only two ways to answer. Guilty or not guilty.
Your Honor, my clients didn't do anything. They're innocent.
Once again, the communication process has broken down. It appears to me that you want to skip the arraignment process, go directly to trial, skip that, and get a dismissal. I'm not about to revamp the entire judicial process because you find yourself in the unique position of defending clients who say they didn't give it. The only thing we've tried today is my patience. Now, the next words out of your mouth better either be guilty or not guilty. If I hear anything other than guilty or not guilty, you'll be in contempt. I don't want to hear commentary, argument, or opinion. I don't want to hear you clear your throat. Because if you do, you will be in contempt. I hope I have been clear. Now, how do your clients plead?
Judge waits for Vinny's next word.
I think I get the point.
No, I don't think you do. You're now in contempt of court. Would you like to go for 2 counts of contempt?
The judge makes a motion with his hands that the ball is in Vinny's court.
Not guilty.
Thank you. Bail will be set at $200,000. A preliminary hearing will be set for 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Is that sufficient time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Bailiff, please take Mr. Gambini into custody. His bail will be set at $200.
The judge
All
exits.
rise as the judge leaves.
The bailiff comes over and leads Vinny, Bill, and Stan from the room. As Vinny leaves, he yells.
Lisa, you're going to have to bail me out. You know, right?
Interior, van on road to prison. Bill and Stan. Stan is depressed. Bill is very uncomfortable. Camera pans to back seat. Vinny's in the back, watching the scenery, carefully whistling Dixie. Stan looks at Vinny, baffled. Interior jail cell. Vinny through bars daily. Vinny waits patiently. The guard unlocks the cell. Exterior prison, day. Lisa's waiting with folded arms, leaning against the wall, holding a camera. As Vinny comes out, she takes a picture of him. They walk through the pack of protesters to the parking lot.
So they're gonna nuke this Norton guy this weekend?
Yeah.
You got one huge responsibility taking on this murder case. You screwing up those boys, you get fried.
I know.
You think you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because it didn't look like you knew what you were doing in that courtroom today. Why is that?
Well, it's all procedural crap. I'm gonna have to kind of like learn it as I go.
Learn as you go? You didn't learn that in law school?
Nah, they teach you precedents, contracts, interpretations. You're supposed to learn procedure from the firm that hires you, or else you go to court and watch.
Have you been doing that?
Between a garage and the night school, where am I going to find the time? I plan on taking a few months off this summer to do it. It's no big deal.
They reach the car and get in.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Exterior roadside barbecue, day. Vinny's buying some greasy food for them both.
I don't see how you know you can be so sure when you don't know what it is you're supposed to know.
Let me explain.
They sit at a picnic table and eat.
It's a procedure, that's all. Like rebuilding a carburetor has a procedure.
Lisa gives him a questioning look.
See, the first thing you do is you take the carburetor off the manifold. But suppose you skip that first step and you try to rebuild the carb while it's still on the manifold. And let's say while you're replacing a jet, you accidentally drop the jet and it goes on the carb, rolls into the manifold into the head. You're fucked. You just learned the hard way that you're supposed to remove the carburetor first. So that's what happened today. I just learned the hard way. It was actually a good experience for what happened today.
You know what I think? Honestly, I think once you're out there doing the thing out there, I think you'll be great. Really great. If you don't fuck up.
I won't fuck up.
There's one problem. We can't afford to bail you out again. I already cashed in half the traveler's checks. I didn't want to bounce a check, so I tried hustling the money, but I got stiffed, so I had to cash in the traveler's checks.
Hustle? What do you mean hustle?
Exterior pool hall. A crudely lettered sign reads, Pool and Chicken. Pool and Chicken. Vinny's Cadillac parked out front, and they get out. Interior pool hall, afternoon. It's a pretty ragtag room, teeming with rednecks. Vinny and Lisa enter. The place goes quiet. A stranger is in their midst. Lisa points to a guy. Vinny approaches him.
Hello, Vincent LaGuardia Gambini.
But JT just stares at Vinny.
His name's JT.
JT, I believe you and Lisa played a game of pool for $200 and she won. I am here to collect.
How would you like me to kick your ass?
Oh, a counteroffer. That's what we lawyers, I'm a lawyer. That's what we lawyers call a counteroffer. Okay, let me see. Tough choice. I could get my ass kicked, collect $200. I could use a good ass kicking. I'll tell you that for truth. I could. No, I'll just take the $200.
JT's not amused, but the guys are.
Over my dead body.
Oh, you like to renegotiate as you go along. All right. So it's either I get my ass kicked or kill you and collect $200. Is that right?
JT is silent. Vinny's got him confused.
Then there's, let's have my count off. Do I have to kill you? What if I just kick the ever-loving shit out of you?
In your dreams.
No. In reality, if I kick the shit out of you, do I get the money?
If you kick the shit out of me, yeah, sure, you get the money.
Vinny looks over at another guy and notices he is wearing a neck brace. He gives him a silent, friendly smile.
What happened? Rear-ended?
No, I fell.
All right, let's see. We agree on terms. The choice now, I get my ass kicked, or option B, I kick your ass and get $200. Yeah, I'm going with option B, kicking your ass and getting $200.
We gonna fight now?
Yeah, but show me the money.
I have the money.
Show it to me.
I can get it.
You can get it. All right, well then you get it, and then we'll fight. Hey, did you fall at your place or somebody else's?
My place.
Shit.
Fuck, that's good. Exterior pool hall day. Vinny and Lisa come out and get into the caddy.
What are you doing betting guys with no money? You know better than that.
I was in a hurry. My man was in jail. What was I supposed to do? Run a credit check?
Visa.
Visa. That's her ship name.
I got money on my mind. Vinny and Lisa drive away. Exterior, exercise yard, Stan and Bill, day. They're arguing.
He blew the arraignment. It's a simple procedure. You heard what the judge said. All he had to say was guilty or not guilty. We could have done that.
So what are you saying?
You saw what happened in there. Do you want to stay with him after that?
Shit, Stan, I don't want to fire him. He could have said my mom too much, and her health is delicately balanced right now.
And I appreciate that, but should you die for that? Wouldn't your mom be even more upset if you die?
Bill is tongue-tied. He can't seem to explain what he wants to explain.
Thing is, given the chance, I think he can do a good job.
No, you're wrong.
I don't know. There's something about a Gambini in a courtroom that's just, well, it just seems right.
Why? Why do you think that?
Bill takes a moment to gather his thoughts. Then,
It's hard to describe. You have to see the Gambinis in action. And these people love to argue. They live to argue.
My parents argue. That doesn't make them good lawyers.
Dan, I've seen your parents argue. Trust me, they're amateurs.
interior hotel room, close shot, book on procedure. Vinny finishes the introduction. Camera pulls back to full shot of the room. Vinny's on the bed reading. Lisa's nearby playing solitaire. We hear a drip coming from the bathroom. It annoys Vinny.
Oh, is that a drip I hear?
Yeah.
Well, weren't you the last one to use the bathroom?
So?
Did you use the faucet?
Yeah.
Why didn't you turn it off?
I did turn it off.
If you turned it off, then why am I listening to it?
Did it ever occur to you that it could be turned off and drip at the same time?
No, because if it was turned off, it wouldn't drip.
Maybe it's broken.
Is that what you're saying? That it's broken?
Yeah, that's it. It's broken.
Are you sure?
Bill's right. This guy loves to argue, and he's apparently met his match.
Positive.
Maybe you just didn't twist it hard enough.
I twisted it just right.
How could you be so sure?
Because I used 16 foot-pounds of torque.
Is that an adequate amount of torquage?
Look in the manual. You'll see that particular model faucet requires a range of 10 to 16 foot-pounds of torque. I routinely twisted the maximum allowable torquage.
How can you be so sure that you used the 16 foot-pounds of torque?
Because I used a Craftsman Model 1019 Laboratory Edition, Signature Series torque wrench, the kind used by Caltech high-energy physicists and NASA engineers.
And how do you know that was accurate?
Because a split second before the torque wrench was applied to the faucet handle, it had been calibrated by top members of the state and federal Department of Weights and measured to be dead on, balls accurate. Here's the certificate of validation.
Dead on, balls accurate.
It's an industry term.
Vinny listens. We hear the drip continue.
Well, I guess the fucking thing is broken.
Vinny pulls Lisa down onto the bed. This whole thing is some weird kind of foreplay for them.
Ain't that just the way?
Ain't that just the way?
Playing it as it lays. Exterior hotel, very early morning.
Oh, God.
We hear that fucking Steve whistle next to the clock that reads 2:00. Interior hotel. Vinny wakes with a jerk. He forgot about the whistle.
We gotta move.
Oh, interior courtroom day. The preliminary hearing has begun. Trotter has the floor with a witness on the stand. His first witness, Constance Riley, skinny black woman, around 60.
It happens.
Then I heard two loud bangs like firecrackers. I looked up and saw two young men running out from the sack of suds, jump into a green car with a white convertible top and drive off like the Dickens. Tires spinning.
Vinny and the boys. Vinny sits with the boys, because that's what he do. Lisa is right behind them in public section, leaning forward, almost with them, not missing a beat. Vinny looks tired, because of the whistle. He writes an occasional note. Trotter and witness stand.
Riley, are those two young men present in the courtroom today?
Yes, they are.
Can you point them out for me?
They're sitting right there.
Bill and Stan look at each other, dumbfounded. Trotter shows a photo of the Buick to Riley.
Is this the car?
Yes, it is.
Let the record show that Constance Riley identified the defendant's car.
Stan and Bill exchange reactions of doom. Witness Stan. Sam Tipton, later that day. Trotter has another witness on the stand. Sam Tipton, a tough-looking, obese man of 45.
I was making breakfast, and I saw those boys there go into the store. And later I heard a gunshot, looked out the window, and they ran out and got in their car and drove off.
Trotter shows the photo of the Buick to Tipton.
This the car?
Yes, it is.
Stan and Bill can't believe what's happening. They sink in their chairs. Witness stands. Ernie Crane, later. This witness, Ernie Crane, is a tall, gangly, kind of creepy 25-year-old boy. Trotter holds the photo of the Buick. He points to Stan and Bill in the photo.
Then you saw those two boys run out of the sack of suds, jump into this car, and drive off.
Yeah, they peeled away. Car was all over the road.
Stan and Bill feel defeated, hanging their heads like condemned men. Witness stand, Sheriff Farley, later. Looking at his notes, quoting.
I asked him if he did it, and he said, I shot the clerk. I asked him again, and again he said, I shot the clerk.
No further questions.
Mr. Gambini,
Yeah?
do you have anything to add?
What kind of thing?
It's not for me to say.
No, sir.
Mr. Trotter, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds sufficient evidence exists for this matter to go to trial.
Stan and Bill slump in their seats, resigned to fate.
Boom.
I'm setting this matter for trial this Monday, February 2nd at 10 a.m. Mr. Gambini, stand up. Now, didn't I tell you the next time you appear in my court that you dress appropriately?
Oh, you were serious about that?
Interior. Van on way back to prison. Vinny is back in the van.
Why didn't you ask them any questions?
Questions? Ask who questions?
Vinny, didn't you know you could ask them questions?
Vinny didn't know. He doesn't want to.
If you put up some kind of a fight, maybe you could have had the case thrown out.
Hiding his own ignorance, Vinny pretends Stan is naive.
Stan, you're in Alabama. You're from New York. You killed a good old boy. There is no way this is not going to trial.
Meanwhile, up front, Stan gives Bill a look of disgust. Interior cell. Stan and Bill, day. They argue.
If this was a conspiracy, they'd have to get all those people to lie. You think that's what's happening? I think we should meet with this public defender. See what he's like. If he's honest, then we go with him.
All right.
Exterior, the prison. Day. Vinny and Lisa are walking from the prison, though still larger crowd of protesters.
What the fuck is going on here, Vinny? Are you fucking up this trial or what?
I explained this all to you already. It's just procedure, okay? I'm bound to fuck up a little.
A little? You're thrown in jail twice.
Hey, I know I was thrown in jail. I don't need you to point it out to me, okay? I mean, you're my fiance. You're supposed to stand by your man, you know? Encourage me a little bit. A little encouragement might be nice.
Oh, is that what you want? Oh, I'm sorry. You were wonderful in there, the way you handled that judge. Ooh, you're a smooth talker. You are.
All right, knock it off. You think I like fucking up? Is that it? You know, ragging on me is not going to give me some great spontaneous knowledge.
Yeah?
Yeah, so shut it.
Interior prison. Conference room, afternoon. Stand at a table. Gibbons enters, a gentle, tidy-looking man, holding a briefcase, and comes in. They shake hands and sit down to talk.
Stanley, my name is John Gibbons. I'm an attorney with the Public Defender's Office. Now, the evidence against you looks pretty strong. Why don't you tell me your side of the story?
Hell yeah.
Exterior, another hotel. Evening. Shabbier than the first. Vinny and Lisa arrive in the caddy. It sounds noisier and is shaken a little. They look at it skeptically and go in. Interior hotel room, night. Vinny keeps reading, and his excitement winds down. He's exhausted. He puts the book aside and sighs.
What's the matter?
You know what it is? Scared.
You should be.
Why the fuck did I get into this? I mean, sure, no problem. I can win the case. I've already sent myself to jail twice. Jeez, you know, I could win this thing. You know, if I can keep my ass awake and out of jail, bet you I could, huh? Is that the same line I did before?
Oh, that's yes.
We moved it here. It works much better here.
Let's do it again. Let's try it in this scene. Let's try it in this scene.
You know what I think, honestly? I think once you're out there doing the thing out there, I think you'll be great. Really great. If you don't fuck up.
Yeah, I like it better here. We're gonna keep it here.
And she turns out the light.
Vinny returns to reading the book. Camera pans to travel clock, and it is 3 o'clock. Exterior hotel, early morning. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we hear the sound of pigs squealing. Vinny sticks his head out the window. He's being woken up by the sound. He looks down. Camera pans down to a sign over a building next door that reads, Johnson's Pork Products. Pigs are being slaughtered. Vinny slams that window right the fuck shut. Interior hotel room.
Some dumb
Vinny covers his head with the pillow, trying to block out the sound. It does not work. He gets up. Interior conference room in prison. Late morning. Vinny waits. Tired, he rests his head in his hands and almost dozes when Bill is let in by a guard.
Where's Stan?
Stan's not coming. He wants to go with the public defender.
Is that an ask no questions at the preliminary?
Yeah, Vinny, I'm going with the public defender too.
Bill feels terrible. Vinny rises and paces, collecting his thoughts.
I'm sorry. I just didn't know how little experience you had.
Maybe I could have handled the preliminary a little better. You know, I admit it. But what's most importantly is winning the case. You know, I can do it now. Here's how. Look, the district attorney has to build a case. Building a case is like building a house. Each piece of evidence is one more building block. He wants to make a brick bunker of building with these serious, solid-looking bricks like this.
He indicates a brick 2 feet thick.
Right?
Yeah.
He pulls playing cards from shirt pocket and takes out an ace.
Yeah. He'll show you how the brick's got nice straight lines. He'll show you how it's got the right shape. He'll show you in the special way so it appears that it's got everything that a brick should have. But here's the one thing that he won't show you. What he won't show you, when you look at the bricks from the right angle, they're as thin as this playing card. His whole case will be a magic trick, which is an illusion. It has to be an illusion because you're innocent. And nobody, and I mean nobody, pulls the wool over the eyes of a Gambino.
Bill sighs. He doesn't know what to say. But he says nothing. A sign to Vinny that he needs more.
Just give me the chance. One chance to question the first witness. And after that point, if you don't think I'm the best man for the job, find me right there. I'll leave quietly and with no grudges. All I ask is for you to give me that one chance. I think you should give it to me.
Interior cell, night. Stan's steaming from something Bill just told him.
He thinks we should just give it to him. What did he do before he was a lawyer? He was a fucking comedian?
I mean, how can it hurt? He doesn't ask the right questions. Your lawyer will, right?
He could still fuck things up. Cross-examination is not just knowing what to say, but what not to say. What if he asks all the possible questions and the witnesses have all the possible answers? He'll end up proving the prosecution's case. How did he ever talk you into it?
Well, at my cousin Ruthie's wedding. I mean, the groom's brother was that guy, Alakazam?
The magician with the ponytail?
Right, he did this act. Every time he made something disappear, Vinny jumped on him. It's in his pocket! Or, well, he's palming it. Or, he's got a mirror under the table. Or these things joined at the middle and it's got a spring on it. It pops, it opens when it's in the tube. It was Alakazam's worst nightmare. But he was just being Vinny. You know, he was just being the quintessential Gambini.
At that point, the lights go dim. They both look up. Stan checks his watch. Norton was just electrocuted.
There goes the quintessential Norton.
Bill makes the sign of the cross. Exterior, another hotel. The third night. Vinny gets out of his car. This hotel looks worse than the last. Crossing the street, he runs into JT. He's got a wad of money.
Hey, Yankee man, look what I got.
What?
It's $200.
How do I know that isn't a wad of ones with a 20 wrapped around it?
It's 200.
Fair enough, show it to me.
JT doesn't do it. Vinny was right.
Yeah.
Disgusted, Vinny walks off. Okay. A hotel room night. The lights are out. Vinny and Lisa are asleep. We hear a distant train whistle. That's right, it's a fucking whistle. Things in the room rattle and vibrate a little. Exterior hotel night. The hotel is beside the railroad. The railroad. Barriers come down, lights flashing, bells ringing, electronic beepers beeping. Interior hotel room night. Vinny wakes up. Red light flashing through the window. Exterior hotel night. The train, whistle blowing deafeningly. Thunders past. It is a freight train, because of course it is. The lights and bells are still going strong. Interior hotel room night. Everything in the room is vibrating. Lamps, pictures, the works. Vinny is appalled. Exterior hotel night. The train goes on and on and on and on and on, and the camera cranes up and over the train to see Vinny at the window. Interior. Vinny at the window. Night. He staggers back to bed and lies there, wide awake. Camera moves slowly into a big close-up. Interior lobby. Morning. Vinny comes downstairs and punches the bell. The clerk appears.
Does that freight train come through here every 5 a.m. every morning?
No, sir. It's very unusual.
Fine.
He leaves. Crowder's office. Morning. Vinny comes up the stairs of the courthouse and, across from the courtroom, enters a door that reads, District Attorney, Beecham County. Vinny and Trotter.
I was making plenty of money winning most of my cases, but my clients were guilty as hell. After getting one fella off for some very serious charges for the fourth time, my conscience got to me. Wouldn't I better serve justice putting the guilty in jail? That's what I'm doing now, and I'm a happier man. How about you?
I got a bullshit traffic ticket. You know, I went to court, got the policeman on the stand, and I just argued with him until he admitted he was wrong. The whole time the judge, Judge Malloy, he was smiling and laughing, and afterwards he invited me to lunch. I was so impressed with him. He had this great old Cadillac, and he tells me he thinks I'd be a good litigator. I didn't know what a litigator was. I never even thought of being a lawyer, but Judge Malloy, you know, he was from Brooklyn too, and he did it, so suddenly it seemed possible. So I went to law school. He'd help me from time to time, you know, real nice man, you know, go out of his way to do this and that. He wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. He became a musician. So when I graduated, he was so proud of me, he gave me his old Cadillac. I think it was just to piss off his son.
That is quite a story.
Yeah, it is. So this is quite a case we got ahead of us. How do you feel about it?
I'd like to have a murder weapon, but other than that, I feel pretty good. What are you doing this afternoon?
Hotel room. Vinny and Lisa. Day. Vinny's going through a couple of suitcases looking for something to wear. Lisa watches, repulsed.
You're going hunting?
That's right.
Why are you going hunting? Shouldn't you be preparing for court?
Last night I was thinking, if I only knew what he knows, if I could get a look at his files.
I don't get it. How are you going to look at his files when you're out hunting?
Two guys out in the woods, guns, on the hunt. It's a bonding thing, Show him I'm one of the boys. He's not going to just let me look at his files, but he might, drop his guard enough for me, to finesse a little information out of him. What should I wear?
What are you going to hunt?
I don't know. Guy had a bunch of stuffed heads around his office.
Heads? What kind of heads?
A boar, a bear, a couple of deer, I don't know, some kind of lion.
Whoa, you're gonna shoot a deer?
I don't know. I suppose I'm a man's man, right? I can hunt a deer. Huh?
A sweet, harmless, leaf-eating, doe-eyed little deer.
I'm not gonna just go out there to wimp out. He'll lose respect for me. You don't want to do that. You don't want that, do you?
He's got her in a logical full Nelson.
Yeah. Are these parents okay?
Imagine you're a deer. You're prancing along, you get thirsty, you spot a little brook, put your little deer lips down to the cool, clear water. Bam! Fucking bullet rips part of your head. Your brains are laying on the ground in little bloodied pieces. Now I asks ya, what would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing?
All right. Trotter's 4x4 Chevy Suburban. Trotter's driving Vinny out into the country.
You know what? Like to take a look at your files. Yeah.
You would.
Sure.
You got a Xerox machine?
No.
No, it's I'll have my secretary do it. Hey, Cheryl. Shirley, would you Xerox all the files on the Gambini Rothstein case for Mr. Gambini? Thank you.
Vinny legit can't believe what just transpired. All right, back in Vinny and Lisa's hotel room, the third hotel. Vinny kicks the door open and enters triumphantly holding two big stacks of documents. Lisa looks up. She's reading.
What's all that?
Brought his files, all of them.
You stole his files?
I was just starting to finesse him, I was giving him a little finesse. When he offers to have his secretary copy everything. Then he insisted I double-check to make sure she didn't miss anything.
That's very impressive, finessing.
But that's not all. He's letting us use his hunting cabin when he gets back. It's out in the woods and it's quiet. He sleeps like a baby out there.
Terrific. You're a hell of a bonder.
Yeah.
He sees his book is open. He's very suspicious.
You reading his book?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Don't read this book.
All right. But don't you want to know why Trotter gave you his files?
I told you.
He has to, by law. You're entitled. It's called disclosure, you dickhead. He has to show you everything or it could be a mistrial. He has to give you a list of all of his witnesses. You can talk to all of his witnesses. He's not allowed any surprises. They didn't teach you that in law school either?
It's your hotel room night. They get back into bed.
Colonel.
And Vinny switches off the light. Lisa falls asleep. So does Vinny, apparently. But the ashtray on the night table starts jiggling. So do the lamps. Vinny opens an eye again. We hear a train whistle. Exterior hotel, night. The same freight train is thundering past. Interior hotel room, night. The room is jumping. Vinny's rigid. He has a catatonic stare. Hotel lobby. The next morning. Vinny's at the reception desk.
You told me only yesterday that the train hardly ever comes through at 5 a.m. I really wish I could hear you. You gotta take that mask off.
I know. I know. She's supposed to come through at 10 after 4.
You're fucking British? What hotel am I at?
It's a bad one, but they got a British clerk.
Oh, they sank all their money into that.
I know.
Interior judge's chambers. Vinny and Judge during the day. The judge looks like the cat that got the canary. Yeah, he does. Vinny looks like the canary. He's exhausted.
Mr. Gambini, I'm not going to let you take part in jury selection tomorrow. I just got a fax from the New York State Office of Judicial Records. They have no records of any Vincent Gambini trying any case in any court in the entire state of New York.
Oh, you're not going to find any records of Vincent LaGuardia Gambini practicing in any court.
I just told you that.
You see, 20 years ago I became an actor, but there was this very prominent stage actor in New York named Vincent Gambini. You might have heard of him?
No.
Well, I had to change my name, which I did legally. So I practiced law under my legally changed stage name.
What name was that?
Jerry Gallo. Jerry Gallo, but you can still call me Gambini.
Exterior courthouse day. Vinny comes out of the courthouse with Lisa.
And what name did you tell him?
Jerry Gallo.
Jerry Gallo, the big attorney?
Yeah.
You think that was a smart move?
The man is a seriously accomplished lawyer. He checks up on that guy and he'll find his name all over the place.
He was in the newspapers all last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
But you didn't actually read the articles?
Nah.
That's too bad.
Why is that?
Because he's dead.
Ooh.
Vinny's sick. Inside the courtroom, they. 12 men and women sit in the jury box as Trotter qualifies their suitability as jurors. The first juror is a grim, middle-aged woman. Stan, Bill, Vinny, Lisa, and Gibbons watch. More than 30 other potential jurors sit in the public seats, waiting.
Can you participate in an endeavor in which the ultimate result might be death by electrocution?
I think it should be left up to the victims' families rather than the courts.
Well, the defendants are charged with robbing a convenience store, tying up the clerk, and shooting him point blank in the back of the head.
I think you do. The 7-Eleven.
If sufficient evidence is offered to prove these facts, would you...
Fry him.
He'll do.
Ooh, later. Vinny is wearing a standard, ill-fitting, off-the-rack suit and is badly in need of sleep. Juror number 2 is a grim, middle-aged man.
How do you feel about criminal defense attorneys?
They should be shot in the cradle.
Sounds like you might want to side with the prosecution.
Not really.
How do you feel about prosecutors?
They should be drowned at birth.
Would you say you hate them equally?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Exterior prison yard. Day. The guard escorts Stan and Bill across the yard.
Sorry.
That's death row in there.
Interior prison conference room. Day. Stan enters and talks to the waiting Gibbons.
The chair ain't working like it used to. The guy we fried last week, Norton, took us 3 attempts and his head caught fire. See, there's no money in the budget to get it looked at. I'd say it'd be cheaper to have it fixed than to run up those extra electric bills.
Stan and Bill look at each other in dismay.
Don't you ever worry you might, execute an innocent man?
Don't happen very often, believe me. It's a chance worth taking, wouldn't you say?
No.
Interior visitation room. Day. Bill comes to Lisa. They talk through a wire mesh.
Where's Vinny?
Listen, I talked to your mom. She's fine.
Mhm.
So you're still letting Vinny handle your case?
I think I may regret that decision for the rest of my life. I mean, if I live that long. So where is he?
Investigating the case, checking out all kinds of important questions.
Interior of Tipton's kitchen. Day. Vinny and Tipton at the kitchen table.
So, what'd you have for breakfast?
Exterior Mrs. Riley's Verdana. Day. Vinny sits with Riley on rocking chairs with a notepad.
How many different levels of thickness have you gone through?
Interior of Crane's bedroom. Day. Vinny and Crane. Vinny aims Lisa's camera at something off screen.
So, what's this brown stuff?
Exterior Crane's house. Day. Vinny exits Crane's house. Vinny is reading some books and looking at evidence while Lisa paces back and forth nervously.
What's the matter with you?
I don't know.
We acting like you're nervous or something.
Well, yeah, I am.
What are you nervous about? I'm the one on the gun here. Trial starts tomorrow.
You want to know what I'm nervous about? I'll tell you what I'm nervous about. I'm in the dock here with all this legal crap. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is you're screwing up, and I can't help.
You lent me a little camera, didn't you?
Oh, Vinny, I'm watching you go down in flames, and you're bringing me with you, and I can't do anything about it.
And?
Well, I hate to bring it up because you got enough pressure on you already, but we agreed to get married as soon as you won your first case. Meanwhile, 10 years later, my niece, the daughter of my sister, is getting married. My biological clock is ticking like this, and the way this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
Lisa, I don't need this now. I got a judge who's aching to put me in jail. Some idiot who wants to fight me for $200, slaughtered pigs, giant loud whistles, no sleep in 5 days, no money, a dress code problem, and a little murder case with holes in the balance, not just the lives of 2 innocent kids, not to mention your biological clock, my career, your life, our marriage, and what else? What else can we pile on? Can we pile a little more shit onto the outcome of this case? Is that possible?
Maybe it was a bad time to bring this up.
All right, inside the cabin at night, we hear a scattering, scratchy sound. Oof, not good. It sounds like the severed witch's hand. Ugh, with scrawny, bony fingers, long yellow fingernails, clattering over the roof like giant frightened cockroaches. Vinny jerks awake. We hear it again. Vinny looks to the left. We hear another one. Vinny looks right.
Another one.
And now Vinny
Another
creeps
one.
out of bed and we hear... It sounds like a witch being burned alive. Lisa jumps and sees Vinny.
What the fuck is that? It's right outside the door.
Is it trying to get in?
How the fuck should I know? I don't even know what it is.
Vinny runs over to the gun cabinet, slides it open, and reaches in. He lifts the gun into view. It's a huge Colt 44 Magnum. Will he survive? He aims at the door.
Roll for initiative.
A tree branch just outside cabin. The witch's hand is really just a branch moving back and forth across the roof. Camera pans to another branch to a screech owl. Nothing unusual, actually. Just a screech owl doing what a screech owl does. And then,
He do, though. He do.
in the background, we see the door to Trotter's hunting cabin fly open, revealing Vinny in the doorway in a dirty, hairy crouch, arm outstretched holding the 44, aimed in nearly the opposite direction of said owl. Screeching once more, Vinny unloads the gun into the darkness. The owl looks over, deadpan, unfazed. Interior caddy, Vinny and Lisa. Cuddled up in blankets, they're feeling close.
This is so romantic. Out in the field here, under the stars, quiet, no one around for miles. This is very romantic.
I don't see no stars.
Looks at Lisa and, what the hell? Who's he to argue about what's romantic? As he pulls Lisa closer, a huge lightning bolt cracks nearby, and it starts to rain. Then we hear more thunder. Poof! Fade to the next day. It is still raining and thundering. An exhausted, red-eyed Vinny wakes up. He starts the car. Right under the rear tire, we see that it just spins and spins and spins. The other tire does nothing. Vinny gets out of the car and steps into some serious fucking mud. He falls over, he gets up, opens the trunk and pulls out a 2x4. But it's stuck. He yanks it harder. Won't budge. He yanks it real hard and finally it moves. But something in pink plastic flies out with it and lands in the mud. Lisa can't see since the trunk is up.
Hey-oh! What's this plastic thing?
Your suit.
The fuck's my suit doing in the trunk?
I had it cleaned. I thought it'd be a nice surprise. Go in there with a clean suit.
What the fuck?
Vinny's caddy, very muddied, parks across the street from the hotel. Vinny gets out. He slams the door, pissed. Lisa gets out. It's still raining.
I got about 30 fucking minutes to shower, buy a new fucking suit, get dressed, and get to the fucking courthouse.
You fucking shower. I'll go get the fucking suit.
Lisa hustles off. Vinny heads towards the hotel. As he crosses the street, we see JT and Neckbrace coming the opposite way, like they do. As Vinny approaches him, JT snickers at Vinny's predicament. As Vinny passes,
Hey, pussy, I got the $200, so you gonna kick the shit out of me?
bam! Vinny cold cocks him solidly, dropping the guy into a heap. Vinny scoops up the money and moves on. Town Square, day. Lisa runs up to Johnson's department store in the rain, but the door is locked. She looks at a sign hanging from the window. It reads closed. Flu, of fucking course. Lisa looks around, sees Butler's secondhand store. Interior courtroom, 10 o'clock. The court is quiet and waiting. Rain beats against the window panes. The judge checks his watch, very impatiently. Trotter is waiting at his table, papers nearly stacked, perfectly groomed, perfectly patient, eminently confident. Stan and Gibbons sit next to each other. Stan looks over at Bill and shakes his head. Bill's sitting by himself, feeling pretty foolish, wondering where the fuck Vinny is. And then we hear the door open. The judge looks up and squints. Trotter looks up confused, and Stan looks up and shakes his head. But we looking, and finally Bill looks up and sees Vinny.
We looking.
Vinny's in his new suit, a too small maroon with pink threaded tuxedo, carrying his book on procedure, an umbrella, and his briefcase. He looks pretty damn silly in it, but he sits down next to Bill anyway. Vinny's so fucking tired he's at his wit's end. He is in a rotten mood.
Mr. Gambini, are you mocking me with that outfit?
Mocking you? No, I'm not mocking you, Judge.
Then explain that outfit.
I bought a suit. You've seen it. Now it's covered in mud. This town doesn't have a goddamn 1 hour cleaner, so I had to buy a new suit. It's the only store that you can buy a new suit in has the flu. You get that, the whole store has the flu. So I had to get this ridiculous thing from a secondhand store. So it's either the leather jacket, which I know you hate, or this ridiculous thing I'm wearing for you.
Are you on drugs?
Drugs? No, I don't take drugs.
I don't like your attitude.
So what else is new?
I'm holding you in contempt of court.
That's a big fucking surprise.
What did you say?
What?
What did you say?
What I just say? What did I say?
The fucking judge
What's
stares him
that?
down. Vinny doesn't look at him. He's fighting just to keep his eyes open. Oof. Later in the court, Trotter on the floor. He has it. He is giving his opening statement.
Your Honor, counsel, members of the jury, the evidence in this case will show you that at 9:30 in the morning on January 4th, that both defendants, Stanley Rothstein and William Gambini, were out getting out of a 1964 metallic green Buick Skylark convertible with a white top. The evidence will show that they were seen entering the Sack of Suds convenience store in Wazoo City. The evidence will show that minutes after they entered the Sack of Suds convenience store, a gunshot was heard by 3 witnesses. You will then hear the testimony of the 3 witnesses who saw the defendants running from the Sack of Suds a moment after the shots were heard, getting into the faded metallic green 1964 Buick Skylark and driving away in great haste. And finally, the state will prove defendants Gambini and Rothstein admitted then recanted their complicity in this crime to the sheriff of Beecham County.
Stan and Bill exchange looks of absolute doom.
Now, let's get on down to the lake log. Your verdict is going to depend on what you think of the sworn testimony. Not what I think, because what I think don't count. You're the jury. It's your job to decide who's telling the truth. The truth. That's what verdict means. It's a word that's passed down from the old England and our little old ancestors. We should be asking you to return a verdict of murder in the first degree for William Gambini and a verdict of accessory to first degree murder for Stanley Rothstein for helping Gambini commit that heinous crime.
He sits down.
Counselor, do you wish to make an opening statement?
Vinny is next to Bill. His head is resting in his hands. His eyes cannot be seen, so he says nothing.
Counselor.
We can hear Vinny's breathing slowly and deeply. He's asleep. Billy's foot nudges Vinny's foot, but Vinny is out.
Vinny. Vinny!
Vinny wakes up, not knowing where he is.
What? What? Huh? Oh.
It's time for your opening statement.
Vinny rises, goes to the jury box, and leans dramatically on the railing, both hands separated. He motions to Trotter.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Vinny walks back to his chair. Trotter rises.
I object, Your Honor. Counsel's entire opening statement is argument.
Objection sustained. The entire opening statement, with the exception of thank you, will be stricken for the record. You will please disregard counsel's entire opening statement. And you, Mr. Gambini, you will not use that kind of language in my court. Do you understand me?
Vinny returns to his table without looking back.
Yeah.
He sits down at the table once again, resting his head in his hands, valiantly trying to stay awake. Bill looks scared as fuck. Stan and Gibbons look over at Vinny.
Idiot.
The judge points to Gibbons, Stan's attorney.
Your statement, sir.
As Gibbons gets up, he drops a pen. He picks it up and clumsily puts it back on the table, but drops it again. Stan stops him and picks it up for him. Gibbons walks onto the floor. He suddenly looks terrified. This is a man who has a terrible case of stage fright. His brow beads up instantly with sweat. He occasionally wipes his palm off on his trousers, and he can't look anyone in the eye.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, on January 4th of this year, my client indeed visit the Sackasuds convenience store.
Stan can't believe what's happening. Vinny's nodding off. He's trying his best to stay awake.
Oh my God.
But he didn't kill anyone. We intend to prove that the prosecution's case is circumstantial and coincidental. Thank you.
Gibbons sits down next to Stan.
That's it? What happened to all the things we talked about?
I get a little nervous out there sometimes.
A little nervous?
I'm getting better. Some people think it gains sympathy from the jurors. What do you think? How did it look?
Stan stares at him the way he would the electric chair.
Like we didn't have a leg to stand on.
Courtroom, interior, later. Trotter's finishing up with Tipton on the stand.
They went into the store. Then I made some breakfast and was just about to eat when I heard a gunshot. So I looked out the window and saw those two boys run out, get in their car, and drive off like maniacs. Tires screeching, smoking, going up the curb.
Trotter shows a picture of the car to Tipton.
Is this the car?
Yes.
No further questions.
Your witness.
Trotter sits. Gibbons rises and approaches the witness.
Mr. Tipton, when you viewed my client, how far away were you?
About 50 feet.
And do you think that's close enough to make an accurate identification?
Yes.
Mr. Tipton, do you wear eyeglasses?
Sometimes.
Were you wearing them that day?
No.
Bill and Stan exchange looks. Stan's looking positive about his man. Vinny's resting his head in his hands. Bill sighs and nudges him.
So you were 50 feet away and you made a positive eyewitness, yet you weren't wearing your necessary prescription eyeglasses.
They're reading glasses.
Bill and Stan exchange looks again. This time Stan's frustrated. But Bill looks at Vinny, who's fallen asleep again.
Can you tell the court what color eyes the defendants have?
Brown, hazel green.
No more questions.
Given sits down. Stan's feeling pretty defeated.
He's a tough one.
Judge.
Didn't see it. Oh, missed that one. Mr. Gambini, your witness.
No problem.
Bill judges Vinny under the table. I mean, nudges Vinny under the table.
I didn't come here to get jerked off.
It's your witness.
Eyewitness.
Yeah.
Vinny's day in court has finally arrived. He's been waiting for this moment for 10 years. Slowly, the thought nearly sobers and wakens him. He pours some water from the pitcher onto his hand and splashes it on his face to help wake himself up. Stan and Bill exchange looks and shudders with sympathetic dread, and Vinny rises and approaches the witness. The rain has stopped. Gradually, sunshine comes in through the windows.
Mr. Tipton, when you reviewed the defendants walking from the car into the sack of suds, what angle was your point of view?
They were kind of walking toward me when they entered the store.
They were walking towards you when they entered the store, and when they left, what was the angle of the point of view?
They were kind of walking away from me.
So do you say you got a better shot of them going in, but not so much going out?
You could say that.
You did say that. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Is it possible that the two youths who went to the store were,
To what? What was that word?
What word?
To what?
What?
Did you say utes?
Yeah, the two youths.
What is a ute?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Your Honor. The two youths. Is it possible that the two defendants entered the store, picked out 22 specific items off the shelves, heated up a burrito, had the clerk pour a slush drink, take the money, make change, then leave, then two different men, don't shake your head, I'm not done yet, wait until you hear the whole thing so you don't understand, then two men drive up in a similar looking car, go in, tie up the clerk, rob him, shoot him and leave.
No, they didn't have enough time.
How much time were they in the store?
5 minutes.
And are you sure it was 5 minutes? Did you look at your watch?
No.
Stan and Bill are confused, but intrigued by Vinny's line of questioning. Sounds like it's leading someplace. Vinny and Tipton.
Oh, I'm sorry. You testified earlier that the boys went into the store and you had just begun making breakfast. You were just getting ready to eat and you heard a gunshot. In 5 minutes you made breakfast?
That's right.
Do you remember what you had?
Eggs and grits.
I had grits before. I like grits. You like grits? How do you make your grits? Regular, creamy, or al dente?
Just regular, I guess.
Regular. Okay. Instant grits?
No self-respecting Southerner uses instant grits. I take pride in my grits.
Vinny's beaming. He knows he's got Tipton on the ropes.
So, Mr. Tipton, how could it take you only 5 minutes to cook your grits when it takes the entire grit-eating world 20 minutes?
The jury responds to this. They know their grits.
They know their grits.
Hashtag they know their grits.
Stan and Bill are riveted. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fast cook, I guess.
I'm sorry. I was all the way over here. I couldn't hear you. Did you say that you were a fast cook? That's it? Are we to believe that boiling water soaks into a grit faster in your kitchen than in any other place on the face of the earth?
I don't know.
Perhaps the law of physics ceased to exist on your stove. I mean, were these magic grits? Did you buy them from the same guy who sold Jack his beanstalk beans?
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection sustained. Mr. Tipton, you can ignore the question. Mr. Gambini, you made your point.
Are you sure about them 5 minutes?
I may have been mistaken.
Thank you. I've got no more use for this guy.
Stan looks at his attorney.
You're fired. I want him.
Bill is jubilant. Lisa is proud. Exterior, behind the courthouse, daytime. Bill, Stan, and Vinny are being put into the police van. Lisa is watching. Van and street are wet, but the sun is out.
Lisa, don't bail me out. I'm going to sleep tonight in prison. Maybe I'll finally get some sleep.
Inside the cell, Vinny is asleep. We can hear someone scream, get brutally beaten, sirens, loud bangs, a fire, you name it, it's there. And Vinny, he sleeps like a fucking baby.
That's how I do.
That is right. Okay. Courtroom in the morning. We on Vinny. Court's back in session. Beams of sunshine light up Vinny. Vinny's got Crane on the stand. Vinny picks up an envelope, opens it, takes out a stack of photos, and hands them to Crane.
Mr. Crane, what are these photos of?
My house and stuff.
House and stuff, okay. And what is this brown stuff on your window?
Dirt.
Dirt. Okay, what is this rusty, dusty, dirty-looking thing you got on your window?
It's a screen.
A screen. Oh, and what are these really big things right in the middle of your view from the window of the kitchen to the sack of suds? So what do you call these things?
Trees.
Trees. Don't be afraid to shout them out. Just when you know, just say it. And what would you call all these thousands of little things you got on trees?
Leaves.
Leaves. And what about these bushy things between the trees? What do you call them?
Bushes.
Bushes. So you can positively identify the two defendants at a distance of 80 feet for a moment of 2 seconds through this dirty window, this crud-covered screen, these trees with all of these leaves on them, and through, I don't know, how many bushes?
Looks like 5.
Don't forget this one and this one.
7 bushes.
7 bushes. So what do you think? Is it possible you just saw 2 guys on a green convertible, but not necessarily these 2 particular guys?
I suppose.
I finished with this guy.
Later on in the court, Vinny's got Constance Riley, the skinny black woman. Vinny treats her with courtesy.
Mrs. Riley, when you saw the defendant, were you wearing your glasses?
Yes, I was.
Over here, dear. Would you mind putting on your glasses for us, please?
She opens her purse, takes out her glasses, and puts them on. They are amazingly thick. Oof, dummy thick. They make her eyes look...
Those eyes clap.
One hinge is fucking broken, repaired with a safety pin, just barely holding on. The jury is struck by how thick they are. Vinny looks at the lens. Out of the dummy thick lens.
Whoa.
Working the same reaction as he has.
How long have you been wearing glasses?
Since I was 6.
And were they always thick as these?
God damn it.
Jesus Christ. Fucking.
They got thicker over the years.
Yeah.
Gotten more or less out of whack as you've gotten over. How many different levels of thickness have you gone through, huh?
Oh, I don't know, over 40 years, 10 times.
Ooh, maybe you're due for a thicker set.
Oh no, I think they're okay.
Oh, let's be fair. Let's check them. Oh shit! I got the Rona. Let's check them out.
I hate this so much.
How far away from the defendants were you when you saw them enter the sack of suds?
100 feet.
Vinny takes a tape measure out of his pocket.
Here, hold this.
She takes one end of the tape measure. He takes the other, walks 50 feet from her, up the aisle.
This is 50 feet, half the distance. Mrs. Riley, can you see how many fingers I'm holding up?
Mrs. Riley,
Let
squint.
the record
Yeah, go ahead.
let the record show that the counsel is holding up 2 fingers.
You're right, please, huh? Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Now, Mrs. Riley, and only Mrs. Riley, now how many fingers do you see?
Walks back over.
What do you think now, dear?
I'm thinking of getting thicker glasses.
Yeah, you make them so thick. Just make them so thick.
What's the next stage direction?
Vinny's Railroad Hotel or Trotter's office. Phone rings. Vinny answers.
Ahoy, hoy.
You did good today, Yankee. I like the competition. Makes things fun. You like competition too?
I'm enjoying myself thus far.
Because I got a big surprise for you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? Is it thick?
God damn it.
You gotta disclose it to me if it's thick.
I only just got it tonight. I'm disclosing it first thing in the morning. The judge will have to admit it.
Should I be worried?
Sure would be if I were you.
Vinny hangs up, grabs the court procedure book, and turns to Lisa.
Where did you read all that shit about disclosure?
Interior Court, next day. George Wilbur, 60, honest, intelligent-looking engineer. He is on the stand.
Mr. Wilbur, what is your profession?
I am a special automotive instructor of forensic studies at the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
How long you been working in that position?
18 years.
Your Honor. Oh, that's your line. Go ahead.
Your Honor, may we approach the bench, please? I object to this witness being called this time. We've been given no prior notice that he testified, no discovery of any tests that he has conducted, all reports he has prepared, and, as the court is aware, the defense is entitled to advance notice of all witnesses who will testify, particularly those who will give scientific evidence, so that we can properly prepare for cross-examination, as well as to give defense the opportunity to the witnesses' reports reviewed by a defense expert who might then be in a position to contradict the veracity of his conclusions.
This speech is said with great speed and fluency, almost in one breath. Give it total clarity, exactly how he did it.
Mr. Gambini, that is a lucid, intelligent, well thought out objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Vinny does that.
Now, these are the photographs of the tires belonging to the defendant's car. And these are the photographs of tire marks made by the assailant's car as it fled the Sack of Suds convenience store. Now, are you familiar with these?
Yes, I am.
Could you elaborate, please?
We compared the tire marks outside the convenience store with the rear tires of the defendant's car. They are the same model and size tire, Michelin model XGV size 75R 14-inch wheel.
And they're the same size and model tire. Anything else, sir?
The car leaving the convenience store spun its rear tires dramatically and left a residue of rubber on the asphalt. I took a sample of that rubber and analyzed it. I also took a sample of rubber from the rear tires of the defendant's Buick and analyzed that.
Now, what kind of equipment do you use to try this out on?
I used a Hewlett-Packard 5710A dual-column gas chromatograph with a flame analyzation detectors.
That thing turbocharged?
Only on the floor models.
Now, what were the results of this analysis?
The chemical composition between the two tires was found to be identical.
Identical.
Yeah.
No more questions.
The judge is handed a fax, which he reads.
Court will take a 60-minute recess for lunch.
Vinny rises.
I respectfully request a full day continuance to go over this stuff.
Request denied.
Thanks.
Mr. Gambini, I'd like to speak to you.
Inside the judge's chambers, Vinny and the judge, daytime. They enter the chambers. The judge is relishing the moment.
You're a dead man.
I'm a dead man.
Yes. I faxed the clerk of New York and asked what he knew about Jerry Gallo. And do you want to know what he replied?
I'm sorry, did you say Jerry Gallo?
Yes.
Gallo with a G?
Yes.
Jerry Gallo's dead.
I'm aware of that.
Well, I'm not Jerry Gallo. I'm Jerry Callo, Callo.
Judge ponders. Is he mistaken, or is Vinny full of shit?
All right. All right, let's get this cleared up right now. Hello. This is Judge Chamberlain Haller. Can I speak to the clerk? Okay, I'll be here. He's going to call me back after 3. That gives you a stay of execution. Unless by some miracle you win this case in the next 90 minutes. Why don't you go to lunch?
He goes to lunch inside the restaurant. A greasy spoon. Lisa enters with an envelope of newly developed snapshots. Vinny is eating, going over the new evidence. Looking at the photos, chemical analysis, etc. He can't believe what he's up against.
I got my pictures. What'd the judge say?
Found out Gallo's dead.
He found out? What'd he say?
I'm trying to think about the case, Lisa.
Lisa goes quiet. Vinny is running scenarios, ideas, etc. through his mind, but nothing's right. She's afraid to ask.
Can I help?
Can I help? No, you can't help.
She gives him a look.
Look how you're looking at me. What's that supposed to mean? Not like I'm a piece of shit because I can't find a way to let you help me? Is that it?
Lisa says nothing. He grabs the photo.
All right. You're helping here. These are a lot of help here. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Oh, these are going to be a lot of help. Oh, yeah. Very creative. Very artistic. Oh, here's a good shot of a first hotel room. That's going to intimidate Trotter. I don't know. I didn't know I looked like that from behind. Gee. And I thought I couldn't feel worse than I did a second ago. Oh, here's a good one of tire marks. Can we get a little bit further away, huh? Did you shoot it from up a tree? Look at this. Oh, we got tire marks. And is that a garbage can? What's that? Dog shit. Dog shit. Maybe that's a clue. And, oh, here's me reading. Here's another one of me reading. And, oh, here's a twist. Me reading with a finger in my ear.
Go on. Lisa's staring at him. I tell you, if looks could kill.
Holy shit. Here it is. The case cracker. Me in the shower.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Lisa just gets up and walks the fuck out, leaving her photographs. Vinny follows her to the street, still holding her.
Lisa, I'm sorry.
Punches the wall. Then he returns to the table, frustrated.
Missing something. I'm missing something.
Vinny sips his coffee. Camera tilts to Lisa's tire track photos.
It's called foreshadowing.
It's called foreshadowing. The interior courtroom. Okay. Vinny's at the table. On the table is a small stack of tire evidence and Lisa's photos. Vinny looks downbeat. The bailiff sits Stan and Bill with him.
Did you find anything?
Very, very little.
Stan goes cold.
Enough to...
But Vinny shakes his head. Stan looks at Bill. Very bad news. Later on the witness stand is Wilbur. Vinny takes out the police photos and shows them to Wilbur, who is still on the stand.
Is it possible that two separate cars could be driving a Michelin Model XGV 75R14S?
Of course.
Let me ask you this. What is the best-selling single model tire sold in the United States?
The Michelin XGV.
And what is the most popular size?
75R14.
The same size that's on the defendant's car.
But two faded green 1964 Buick Skylark convertibles?
I asked if the most popular size of the most popular tire is on the defendant's car.
Well, yeah.
Thank you. No more questions.
Vinny sits down. He's a broken man. He stares at Lisa's photos. The tire photo is on top. He picks it up, stares harder and harder.
Trotter's on mute.
Oh no.
Your Honor, prosecution rests.
Mr. Gambini, your first witness.
Vinny grabs the police photo and compares it with Lisa's. Lisa's is a much wider angle, and we see both photos. Lisa's is a full shot of the tire marks left by the killer's car. Two 20-foot length tire marks, about 10 feet in. One tire track goes up a curb and comes down another 10 feet. Vinny stares a little bit more.
Mr. Gambini, I will ask you one more time and one more time only. If I ask you again...
Vinny looks so fucking happy he could...
Your Honor, please, if I can have the next 5 minutes recess. My next witness isn't present in the courtroom.
3 minutes, no more.
Vinny scrawls a hurried note. He jumps up and steps beside the sheriff, handing him the note.
Do you trace this for me?
Not my job. You do your own investigating.
Please, I've only got 3 minutes.
He hurries out of the courtroom. The sheriff stares at the note. Interior courthouse lobby, day. Vinny comes out into the lobby.
Lisa, please, I'm sorry. I need you to come back in the courtroom, and I need the phone.
Lisa's still on the phone. She ignores him. In the background, sheriff comes out of the courtroom.
I need the phone. We got to make up and get back in the courtroom. There's not much time. Everyone is waiting.
Shut up.
Vinny grabs the phone and cuts her off.
Fuck you.
She storms off towards the front doors. Vinny goes to follow her, but is stopped by the sheriff, who's still holding the note.
Tell me why.
Courthouse. Daytime, long shot. Lisa stops out the front doors. Vinny runs out and drags her back in, kicking and screaming. Vinny and Lisa bust in.
Your Honor, the defense calls its first witness, Miss Mona Lisa Vito.
Lisa is shocked. She tries to leave. He holds on to her.
Objection, this person is not on the witness list.
This witness is an expert in the area of automobiles and is being called as a witness to rebut the testimony of George Wilbur.
Lisa shakes her head and turns and walks out.
Your Honor, could you instruct the bailiff to lead Miss Vito to the stand?
Bailiff.
The bailiff runs outside and comes back with a very pissed off Lisa. She glares at Vinny as she passes him. She's led to the stand.
Hold your right hand up. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Mrs. Vito, you're some kind of expert in automobiles, is that correct?
Lisa glares at Vinny. She sits there, the quintessential unfriendly witness, arms folded and staring at Vinny.
Will you please answer the counselor's question?
No, I hate him.
Your Honor, do I have permission to treat Miss Vito as a hostile witness?
You think I'm hostile now? Wait till you see me tonight.
Do you two know each other?
He's my fiancé.
Well, that would certainly explain the hostility.
Your Honor, I object to this witness. Improper foundation. I'm not aware of this person's qualifications. I'd like the opportunity to voir dire this witness to the extent of her expertise.
Granted. The prosecution is going to ask Ms. Vito a few questions to determine if she is qualified to testify as an expert on the subject of tire mark identification. Mr. Trotter, you may proceed.
Miss Vito, what is your current profession?
Out of work hairdresser.
And in what way does this qualify you to be an expert in automobiles?
It doesn't.
In what way are you qualified?
Well, my father was a mechanic, his father was a mechanic, my mother's father was a mechanic, my 3 brothers are mechanics, 4 uncles on my father's side are mechanics.
Your family is obviously qualified, but what have you ever worked as a mechanic?
In my father's garage, yeah.
As a mechanic? Well, what did you do in your father's garage?
Well, tune-ups, oil changes, brake redlining, engine rebuilds, rebuilt some trannies' rear ends.
Does being an ex-mechanic necessarily qualify you as an expert on tire marks?
No. Thank you. Goodbye.
Sit down and stay there until you're told to leave.
He sits, giving the judge a look that was previously used for Vinny.
Your Honor, Miss Vito's expertise in general automotive knowledge. It is in this area that her testimony will be applicable. If Mr. Trotter wishes to voir dire the witness to the extent of her expertise in this area, I'm sure he'll be satisfied.
Okay.
Trotter sees this as a healthy challenge. Stump the witness.
All right. Being an expert in general automotive knowledge, can you tell me what would be the correct ignition timing for a 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?
The judge leans forward, ready to be impressed. The jury, too, is listening intently.
That's a bullshit question.
Does that mean you can't answer it?
It's a bullshit question. It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer to it?
Nobody can answer the question.
Your Honor, I move to disqualify Miss Vito as an expert witness.
Can you answer the question?
No, it's a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Chevy didn't make a 327 engine in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62, and it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carburetor till 64. However, in 64, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
All right. The judge and jury are impressed. Vinny's very proud.
Trotsky.
He's acceptable.
Vinny gets up.
He was taking an actor's moment.
Oh.
Your
Let
Honor.
me have it, goddammit!
Your Honor, this is a
How
photograph
dare you?
Beyonce took outside the sack of suds. Now he missed his line.
Yes.
Taking another moment.
I'd like to submit this photograph of tire marks as evidence.
The judge looks at Trotter.
No objection.
Vinny shows Lisa her photograph.
Mrs. Vito, did you take this picture?
You know I did.
And what is it of?
You know what it's of.
Miss Vito, it has been argued by me, the defense, that 2 sets of guys met up at the Sack of Suds at the same time in Wazoo City, Beecham County, Alabama, driving identical metallic mint green 1964 Buick Skylark convertibles. Can you tell by what you see in this photograph, does the defense's case hold water?
Lisa looks at the photo again, but this time, something occurs to her. What she sees in the picture is incontrovertible proof of the boy's innocence. It dawns on her. Vinny will win the case, and she can help. She looks at Vinny, smug as he can be. Vinny shrugs amiably.
Ms. Vito, could you please answer the question? Does the defense's case hold water?
No. The defense is wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
How can you be so sure?
Because there's no way these marks could have been made by a 64 Buick Skylark. These marks were made by a 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
Objection, Your Honor. Could we clarify to the court whether the witness is stating opinion or fact?
Well, this is your opinion.
It's a fact.
I can't believe that this kind of information could be ascertained simply by looking at a photograph.
Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
So would I.
On the 82, equal-length tire marks had pause attraction. You can't make those marks without pause attraction, which was not available on a 64 Buick Skylark.
Why not? What's pause attraction?
It's a limited slip differential that distributes power equally to both the right and the left tires. The Skylark had a regular differential, which anyone who's ever been stuck in the mud in Alabama knows that when you step on the gas, one tire spins and the other one does nothing.
The jury knows that, and so does the judge and the bailiff. Trotter knows it too, and his lack of expression says so.
Is that it?
No, there's more. When the right wheel went up on the curb, the left tire mark remains flat and even. The 64 Buick Skylark has a solid rear axle, so when the right wheel goes up, the left wheel tilts out and rides on its left edge. But this didn't happen here. This mark is flat. which means this car had an independent rear suspension. Now, in the 60s, there were only 2 other cars made in America with an independent rear suspension, positive traction, and enough power to make those marks. One was the Corvette, which could never be confused for a Buick Skylark. The other car, however, had the same body length, height, width, weight, wheelbase, and wheel track as the 1964 Buick Skylark, and that was the 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
And because both cars are made by GM, were both available in metallic mint green paint.
They were.
Thank you, Mrs. Vito. No more questions. Thank you. You've been a lovely witness.
All right, Vinny goes and sits down with the boys.
Vinny and the boys.
Vinny and the boys are elated. They pat him on the back. Vinny and Lisa exchange loving looks. Trotter's having an animated conversation with Wilbur.
Said this defense was thick.
Mr. Trotter, would you like to question Miss Vito?
You gave me 2 C's.
Trotter and Wilbur
At least 3.
appear to be arguing. Wilbur is shaking his head. Trotter is pressing. Wilbur continues to shake his head.
Mr. Trotter?
Wilbur shakes his head even more. The judge is
Mr. Trotter?
Wilbur and Trotter have clearly had a falling out.
No, Your Honor, no questions.
Vinny sees this and, on a hunch, he rises.
In that case, Your Honor, I would like to recall George Wilbur.
Trotter looks like a quarterback who dropped the ball as Wilbur takes a stand.
So you realize you are still under oath?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilbur, what do you think of Miss Vito's testimony?
Very impressive.
Yeah, she's cute too, huh?
Yes, very.
Trotter.
So sorry. Hang on, I dropped the
Your
ball
Honor.
there. Your Honor, I just want to know real fast.
Just stay, Mr. Gambini.
Sorry, Mr. Wilbur. In your expert opinion, would you say that everything Miss Vito said on the stand was 100% accurate?
I'd have to say that.
Trotter's sick. The sheriff enters at the back.
Is there any way in the world that the Buick driven by the defendants could have made those tire marks?
Actually, no.
Thank you. No more questions.
Vinny turns and sees the sheriff at the back. The sheriff nods at him.
Your Honor, I call Sheriff Farley.
There is absolute hubbub in the horse.
He's good.
Sheriff takes the stand.
Sheriff Farley, what'd you find out?
On a hunch, I took it upon myself to check out if there was any information on a 63 Pontiac Tempest stolen or abandoned recently. This computer readout confirms that 2 boys who fit the defendant's description were arrested 2 days ago by Sheriff Tillman in Jasper County, Georgia, for driving a stolen metallic mint green 1964 Pontiac Tempest with a white convertible top, Michelin model XGV tires, size 75R, with positive traction.
Is that it?
No. A .357 Magnum revolver was found in their possession.
Could you refresh the court's memory? What caliber bullet was used in the murder of Jimmy Willis?
A .357 Magnum.
Thank you. The defense rests.
Vinny sits down.
Boom.
Mr. Trotter?
Trotter just sits there. He sighs. Then he looks at Vinny and smiles defeatedly. He stands.
In light of Miss Vito's and Mr. Wilbur's testimony, the state would like to dismiss all charges.
Woohoo!
He jumps up, kisses Lisa. Stan and Bill jump, double high five each other, then
Double
both
high
hug Vinny.
five. Page 25, 125 is omitted. Just want you to know that.
So much omitted. Actually, yeah.
It was the judge's monologue.
Exterior courthouse that afternoon. Vinny is surrounded by an enthusiastic and admiring crowd, including Stan, who's #1 Stan, Bill, Star, Sheriff Farley, and others.
Oh, Star's back. Good for him.
Vinny glances at his watch and whispers urgently to Lisa.
I've got to get out of here by 3. Are the bags in the car?
She nods and goes. She goes. He turns in a rush and runs into Stan, who has an impromptu thank you speech for Vinny. He chooses his words carefully, which feels endless for Vinny.
Vinny, I'm sorry to have ever doubted you at any time. For this, I apologize. I think, under the circumstances, that you did a fantastic job.
You're very, very
And-
welcome, son. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Vinny shakes his head, turns to Bill, who stumbles trying to find the appropriate words, but nothing seems appropriate. So instead, he simply embraces Vinny.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Bill stops, looks at Vinny, and
Vin,
Family.
Vinny can't take it. He tries to wrap things up, so he gives Bill a quick hug. Then,
Go ahead and take your time. Put the right words together, and then give me a call in New York.
Bill embraces him again. Vinny checks his watch. It's 3 o'clock. Bill stops, tries to speak again.
Vin,
You know, Bill, it's obvious that words simply cannot express what you're feeling, so I'll see ya.
Vinny goes away and ducks another foot closer to the car and runs into trotting.
Vinny, you did a terrific job.
Oh, thanks.
And there's an open invitation whenever you feel like coming back on down here.
Lisa drives up in the caddy and waits at the curb. Vinny sees her.
Thank you, Jim. But if I don't get out of here, I might not ever leave.
Vinny hurries to the curb, followed by the small crowd. As he reaches the car, the judge steps into frame and interrupts him. Ooh, the judge is holding a sheet of fax paper. Vinny thinks he's doomed.
Mr. Gambini, I have a fax here from the clerk of New York. I owe you an apology, sir. I'm honored to shake your hand. Win some, lose some. Your courtroom manner may be rather unconventional, but you're one hell of a lawyer.
And you're one hell of a judge.
He gets into the car. The judge waves as they drive away. Inside the caddy, Day.
What the hell was that all about?
I had a friend send a fax to the judge confirming the impressive legal stature of a Jerry Callow.
Vinny's impressed. Then he wonders who Lisa would know in the clerk's office. She wouldn't know anybody.
What friends do you have in the clerk's office?
Your friend,
My friend,
Judge Malloy.
Judge Malloy.
Yeah, you're driving his car.
I know I'm driving his car. I know who he is.
So what's your problem?
I wanted to win my first case without anyone's help.
I guess that plan's moot.
Yeah.
This could be a sign of things to come. You win your cases, but with someone else's help, right? You win case after case, then afterwards you have to go up to someone and say, thank you. Oh my God, what a fucking nightmare.
Vinny gives her a look, pretending he's angry, but he's not at all. In fact, he feels desperately romantic, and Lisa knows it.
Cara mia. I won my first case. You know what this means, don't you?
Think I'm gonna marry you?
You're not going to marry me now?
No way.
Vinny gives her a questioning look.
You can't win a case by yourself. You're fucking useless.
Camera pulls back as they continue to argue, and the car drives off into the
I
distance.
thought we'd get married this weekend.
You don't get it, do you? That's not romantic. I want a wedding in church with bridesmaids and flowers.
You said that so many times, to being spontaneous romantic.
You know what? A burp is spontaneous. A burp